and they don't really like me. Cause I can fuck your bitch and fuck your mom and auntie.
Alright, tough.
TikTok is an interesting platform. You have silly videos, dance challenges, and oh yeah, full-on criminals. Anything from pretending to be a police officer for clout to murder. Though at first glance, these people don't stick out. I mean, come on, you keep scrolling and forget half the videos you watched. It is worth noting everyone on this list has a horrible reason they're in today's video. Welcome to TikTokers who became horrible criminals. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. That's right, we did it. We hit a month of weekly uploads. Y'all thought I couldn't do it? I'm proving y'all wrong. Thank you guys so much for the support in the last video. We hit the trending tab here on YouTube. I love hitting the trending tab. Trending gaming is cool too, but we all know that's like the junior of the actual trending tab. So thank you guys so much. I honestly didn't think they would put a video with the word racist on trending, but hey, they did it. But I do have to tell y'all something. We finally have physical copies of ear candy, and every single one is signed. So we have the CDs right here and the cassette tapes. I have all of them right here in my room, so I'm gonna be the one that's physically shipping them all out. So yeah, Tubbs' fingerprints gonna be on this. Same with the CDs, they're being shipped with love. Every single copy of the cassettes and CDs are signed. And yes, the cassettes work. Bruh, it's so difficult to learn how to use a cassette. I was asking my mom how to use this shit because I don't know. This is the quality. Yeah, it's honestly such a cool novelty item. Wow. And there's only 100 cassettes and 100 CDs. There's only 200 in total. You guys are probably wondering, why such a little amount? Well, because they took forever to make, and if they sell out quick, of course, I'll order another batch. They're already ready to go, so it won't be difficult to get more. Oh yeah, they're gonna be available at earldoesn'texist.com. Anyway, now let's get started with the video. Claire Miller. We've actually spoken about this girl in the darkest TikTok iceberg, so if the story seems familiar, that's probably
this
why.
video probably going on the channel.
Case of cold-blooded murder.
Top tier react dandies.
Quote, I would have killed someone sooner if I knew I was gonna get McDonald's. The girl in question was Claire Miller, a 14-year-old
best reactor with no face cam
living with her parents and sister in Manheim Township, Pennsylvania. She made this statement after the police brought her breakfast a few hours after she was accused of stabbing and killing her 19-year-old sister, Helen. Claire, now age 16, used to look after her older sister Helen, who was wheelchair bound as she had cerebral palsy. Now, given her age and demeanor, you could probably mistake her for your average teenager on TikTok. She was a fairly known person on TikTok, going by the handle @spirits&such consulting. However, her TikTok account was not so average, as it now seems she had a dark side to her content. For example, in one video, she is seen singing along to the song, quote, Don't Make Me Get Violent by Carol's Daughter. The song is associated with the idea of wanting to hurt someone because they hurt you. The exact lyrics she sang along to were, Don't make me get violent, I want my ring back, baby that's a diamond. Her account featured other similarly oriented sounds that you wouldn't think you know anything about. Then you find out this girl became a murderer, and you look back at these sounds and you're like, what did you mean by that? She also made another TikTok using the popular sound, like I'm dead, you killed me, I am dead now. She also had a decent viewership with these videos, with one in particular getting as many as 1.8 million views. On the fateful night of February 22nd, 2021, Claire is said to have used a kitchen knife to stab her sister. When police arrived at the scene after being called to the home at around 1:08 a.m., they walked into Helen's bedroom to find her covered in a bloodied pillow and a knife lodged in her. On their way in, they had met Claire outside the house, wearing bloody pants and hands covered with blood. She was simply repeatedly saying, I have stabbed my sister. The saddening part of the whole ordeal is that psychiatrists have suggested that she didn't knowingly engage in the act. Dr. Susan Rushing, her psychiatrist, said she suffered from auditory hallucinations and thus heard voices. On that specific night, she heard a voice telling her to slash her own throat too. While being held in a juvenile detention cell, a township police officer, Martin, testified in court that Claire did not appear upset or sad during the time that he watched her. Her demeanor since the killing has been a debatable issue, with other psychiatrists like Dr. John O'Brien saying he couldn't find any consistent demeanor that could be used to diagnose Claire. It's also terrifying that while in juvenile detention, Claire Miller said she Michael Myers'd her sister, which is fucking crazy to say.
This is fucking crazy as shit.
Joke out of it. And the ongoing court proceedings will determine if she will be tried as an adult or as a minor.
Try her as a fucking adult.
Oliver Snow, another TikToker involved in a horrible crime, is the cosplay influencer and OnlyFans model Mary Oliver Snow, aka Yandere Freak, aka Yandere Snow, aka Snow and the Salt Queen. In 2021, Snow, age 23 at the time, who also posted yandere cosplay content on Instagram, was charged with second-degree murder for allegedly drunkenly shooting and killing their friend, Helen Hastings, in the wee hours of January 17th. Snow, who goes by they them, had about 1.6 million TikTok followers at the time of the incident and was an internet celebrity in the cosplay community due to their performance.
Yeah, I remember
and
hearing about this
mimicry of
bitch
various
actually.
Japanese anime characters, especially Junko from Danganronpa. Alright, I don't know if it's Junko or Junko. Y'all don't roast me on that because I don't
play that video
a
game.
Japanese character in a video game where teens are locked in a school and forced to fight.
He said, I don't even play that bullshit.
How were Snow and the victim Helen related? Well, they were in a tightly knit social circle of cosplayers in Houston where Snow was the central figure, but they had known each other since Hastings was in 10th grade. Hastings, who went by they them as well, was also fairly influential in the cosplay community in Houston as they had 120,000 TikTok followers at the time of their death. The two spent a lot of time together, and even on the night they shot Hastings, they were at home watching TV. On that night, Snow pointed a gun at Hastings and shot them. Hastings went on life support for 2 days before eventually passing due to injuries on January 19th. According to the criminal complaint, the defendant stated they had been passing the gun around for hours and had been playing around with it. The defendant said they weren't paying attention hard enough and they might have been too drunk. The defendant said the compliant came up to them and was joking around, telling the defendant, "Ooh, shoot me," as they were laughing, and the defendant said, "Oh, okay," and said it went off, saying they were in shock and that it was supposed to be empty. The defendant said they didn't load it and don't know how it went off. The defendant told their friend to call 911 as they moved the gun away from the complainant. The defendant told their friend to call 911, and the defendant also said that the 911 operator told them to place the gun back in its case. The defendant also stated that they were watching Gotham and said that they were drunk, laughing, messing around, and the gun had never been fired before. Later, Snow got indicted, and according to Texas law, they
It's
faced
always
up to
one in
20
the
years and
chamber.
up to $10,000 in fines for second-degree murder. They've been out on a bond of $20,000. The exact accusations against them included recklessly causing death by pointing a handgun and pulling the trigger. Snow initially claimed that the shooting was an accident, that they were friends playing around with a Glock handgun they believed was empty, but the evidence presented by the prosecution suggested otherwise. For example, Snow posted disturbing content on their social media accounts, including TikTok videos in which they pretended to harm themselves and Instagram posts with captions such as "Blood is pretty." Their persona, yandere, is also disturbing as it derives inspiration from the anime meaning, which is a person that sometimes is affectionate and sometimes
Yeah,
wants
she
to
killed
kill
somebody,
you.
her fucking
Interestingly,
clout went
Snow's
up.
case raised questions about the connection between violent content on social media and real-life violence. Some experts argued that exposure to violent content can desensitize people to violence and make them more likely to engage in violent behavior. This might just explain why Snow simply took a 3-week break from TikTok after the incident and went right back to posting her usual cosplay content. They, however, faced a lot of backlash for the insensitivity, especially after their video singing along to the audio, "Goodness, you're bleeding, what a wonderful feeling, you're down and you're pleading, my head is just reeling." So that goes to show, if you post edgy content on social media and, you know, that 0.0001% you accidentally kill someone,
These fucking
it's gonna be used against
TikTokers
them.
are
Yeah, I tried to
sick,
find some
bro.
2023 updates on the case, but from my knowledge,
There.
he's still out on bail and the court cases are still ongoing. Ali Abulaban. On October 26, 2021, a popular TikToker, Ali Abulaban, shot and killed his wife Anna Abulaban and a man, Rayburn Cardenas Barron, in a twisted case of suspected extramarital affair. This happened at their apartment in Spire, San Diego. Abulaban, aged 29 at the time, was a TikTok star that went by the username @JinKid and had a little over 940,000 followers on the app. His rise to fame was a result of his popular impersonations of the character Tony Montana from Scarface. In the movie, Montana is a powerful drug kingpin in Miami. Ali also did other comedy acts and impressions. So, how did the murder happen? Well, a few days earlier, on October 18th, Ali had been forced out of his 35th floor apartment by his wife and had moved into a nearby hotel. However, he had a secret key and later used it to sneak back into the home and planted a listening device on his 5-year-old daughter's iPad. He had suspected that his wife was cheating on him, hence the listening device, and in the afternoon of October 26, 2021, Ali listened in on the device and he heard his wife and a man, quote, giggling and talking. He rushed to the apartment and just around 3:10 p.m., the police were notified of the shooting. He had gone in and shot at the man, 29-year-old Barron, 3 times before shooting his wife, 28-year-old Anna,
bro.
once in the head.
Holy
Both died
shit.
at the scene. Ali then took off and went to pick up his daughter from school. Afterward, he called his mother to confess killing his wife and then called the police. He was arrested while traveling on the eastbound highway about 45 minutes later with his daughter in the vehicle. The prosecution claims that Ali was motivated by jealousy and a desire to control his wife. He pleaded not guilty to the charges, and his defense team argued that the prosecution's case was based on circumstantial evidence. The defense also argued that Ali's mental state at the time of the killings was impaired by the use of cannabis, which may have affected his perception of events. But it didn't work out because there was security footage of him running out of the apartment in a hurry. In addition, San Diego's deputy DA Taryn Brass reported that when Ali picked up his daughter from school, he was still carrying the murder weapon. The judge on the case ordered that he be held in prison without bail.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I probably would have did the same shit.
Prosecutors say Ali.
Mahek Bukhari. This next incident takes us to Leicestershire, where a terrible road crash led to the 22-year-old TikTok star Maybe Vlogs facing potential jail time for murder. Real name Mahek Bukhari, Maybe Vlogs is a well-known fashion influencer and equally outspoken Palestine supporter in the UK with about 128,000 TikTok followers and about 3.2 million likes. What did she do? Well, alongside her 45-year-old mother and 21-year-old friend, she is accused of having run two young men off the road and thus leading to their death. According to the police reports, on February 11th, 2022 at around 1:35 a.m., the three women, Maybe, her mom, and a friend, rammed into the vehicle that the young men were in, forcing it off the road on the A46 near the Six Hills Junction in Leicestershire. They had apparently been in a high-speed chase beforehand. The vehicle that the two young men were in was ripped into two pieces, killing them instantly. It's suspected that more than two vehicles were involved in the crime, and so an additional two men have been charged in the case since a gray Audi TT and a blue Seat Leo were captured going at equally high speeds near the collision at the time of the incident. It's not said, but it can be assumed that the girl was racing the other car with the other people that got charged as well. Though I don't know why you would be in a car racing with your mother next to you.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The case is still ongoing and is expected to be heard in September 2023, although Maybe and her accomplices made an appearance in court for a hearing on March 18th, 2023. In an earlier court hearing, a judge asked the trio if they knew they faced the, quote, most serious charge known to criminal law, and they answered yes. A bizarre aspect of this case, which also seems to be a thing with the disturbed TikTok influencers, is that Maybe posted a video almost making light of a similar situation. She made a satirical video in January 2022 in which she pretended to casually tell another person that she, quote, killed someone, and Shawn Mendes' It'll Be Okay played as the TikTok sound. She's also posted other controversial content on her social media accounts. In another recent TikTok posted by Maybe, a flashy car can be seen recklessly swerving around on a road. If you go to her account right now, it's still up and all the comments are disabled. Cameron Herron. This is another person we talked about in the darkest TikTok iceberg. By the way, you should watch that if you haven't. This next crime is interesting.
Yeah, that video's a banger.
The influencer behind it got even more famous and amassed new fans after it happened. The person of interest here is Cameron Herron,
Yeah, I remember
a TikTok
this,
star that was
all the
known for
bitches was
illegal
simping over
street
this nigga.
racing and his general love for cars. Aged 18 years old at the time, Herron got on the wrong side of the law after running over a mother, Jessica Reisinger Rubinal, 24 years old, and her daughter, who was just 21 months old. The accident happened on Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa, Florida, where Herron raced a friend who was 17 at the time. Herron had just gotten a new Ford Mustang GT as a gift from his parents, and as he was driving, he pulled up next to his friend at a stoplight. When it was their turn to go, they rapidly accelerated, and unfortunately, Herron lost control of his car. He swerved and hit Jessica, who was pushing her baby on a stroller on the waterfront sidewalk.
Oh my
Vehicle's
God.
diagnostics after the accident show the Mustang was doing 102 miles per hour before trying to brake. Bayshore Boulevard zone speed limit was 45 miles an hour. Later on in 2021, Cameron Herron, age 21, pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide and was sentenced to 24 years in prison. He is serving time at the Graceville Correctional Facility in Florida. His friend Barano, who was in a Nissan Altima, also pled guilty and is serving a 6-year prison sentence. Herron's brother Tristan, who had been a passenger in the seat of the Mustang, had been charged with racing, but the charges were later dropped. As mentioned earlier, the interesting part of this case is that despite his conviction, Herron gained new fans on TikTok, and together with his existing followers, he started a campaign for his release with hashtag Justice for Cameron. In 2021, the hashtag had over 26 million views, and his name, hashtag Cameron Herron, had over 1.8 billion views. Many argued that his sentence was too harsh and claimed that he was, quote, too cute to go to jail, with some terming him as cute innocent, and brave. Jesus fucking Christ. Also, over 32,000
Shit, it's
people
weird,
signed a
dog.
change.org petition titled Demand for 24 years sentencing
TikTok
and judicial
motherfuckers
review
weird as shit.
of an unavoidable traffic accident, citing reasons, and one of them was the fact that the family of the victim got $6.4 million in compensation. Critics have pointed out that Cameron's actions resulted in the deaths of 2 innocent people, and his sentence is very appropriate given the severity of the crime. Though there's always going to be those weirdos on the internet that I guess like murderers to this degree. Whatever.
Yep.
Let's just move on.
That shit is definitely a fetish thing.
Jonte Collins and Eric Dodds. How about committing a murder with your partner, then going online to try to defend them, and then both of you end up getting arrested?
Stupid.
Well, that was the case for TikTok and OnlyFans couple Jonte Collier and Eric Dodds, both aged 23 years old and living in Huntsville, Alabama as of 2022. The couple's rise to fame on TikTok was fueled by their pro-LGBTQ+ stance, and they had amassed over 800,000 followers. Their account primarily shared mini vlogs and life updates on what they did together. They were arrested and charged with the murder of Dakota Bradshaw in Georgia, which happened on August 1st, 2022. Collier was arrested on August 10th, and Dodds was later arrested on August 16th, 2022. Major Mike Freeman of the Walker County Sheriff's Office said he received reports of the shooting moments before witnesses put the couple at the scene. 417 East Peachtree Street, Rossville, Georgia. Witnesses said they saw a red truck and a blue Dodge Challenger leaving Bradshaw's home just after the shooting happened at around 1:17 p.m. The shooter was said to have gotten into the red truck. Bradshaw was found shot inside his home and later pronounced dead at a local hospital. Collier was arrested first after his home was raided by the police, and shortly after Collier's arrest, Dodds posted a video on their joint TikTok account claiming his partner's innocence. In the video, he says, quote, "No, he hasn't done anything wrong to no one. Y'all know John. John would not harm a soul. He's the most free-spirited person that I know."
You don't do that shit. When you are fucking under fire for something alleged, yo, y'all know me, y'all know him. He would never do that. You don't say that. Nigga, no, we don't know you, nigga.
He loves me even more than I love myself, end quote. He also made a GoFundMe campaign to raise money for his defense. However, just a few days later, Dodds was also arrested in connection with the murder. Collier was initially jailed in Alabama's Madison County before extradition to
We don't fucking know you at all.
Was in Limestone County in Alabama and awaits extradition to Walker County Jail in Georgia too. So if they actually did it, we'll have to wait for the trial to continue. Chosen Terrell Hanna.
I hate when people say that shit.
Case where the dude got caught for robberies because he was wearing the same shoes he wore during the robbery on his TikTok account. They were customs. Let's talk about it. Chosen Terrell Hanna, a popular TikTok personality with more than 149,000 followers and a little over 1.6 million likes. He was popular for edgy videos mixed with regular dancing and lip-syncing videos. It was actually one of these videos that led investigators right to his doorstep after they identified his dyed pinkish purple hair and custom white Nike sneakers as resembling those worn by the person that they were looking for concerning a series of robberies. As it turned out, 22-year-old Terrell Hanna from Redford Township had robbed stores on 4 different occasions between December 1st, 2020,
robbing stores and doing TikTok dances after.
These stores included a 7-Eleven, gas station, and a tobacco shop. On December 1st, 2021, at a 7-Eleven store, he pulled a gun on a clerk and got away with an unknown amount of cash. On January 13th, at a Marathon gas station, he pressed the gun on the clerk's back and took off with the money. Later on January 26th, he robbed the 7-Eleven again. His last robbery was just 6 days after the last, where he robbed a tobacco store and took off with cash and a bunch of cigars. Investigators got a tip from the gas station witnesses that the guy looked like someone they knew on Snapchat, username given chosen_1. They used this to find his username on TikTok. They specifically identified his Nike shoes with red dots as the same ones worn during the robbery. Also, his hair, it's dyed purple and pink. They also said it was sticking out of the ski mask.
He's fucking stupid, yo.
Raided his home and found items believed to have been used during the armed robberies.
Why would you wear the same fucking shoes you doing a TikTok? That's a fucking robbery, dog.
Of over 20 years.
That's some dumb ass shit.
Haneen Hassam, an Egyptian TikTok star named Haneen Hassam, was arrested and sentenced in 2022 on human trafficking charges, though this case is controversial and you'll see why. Hassam at the time was a student and dabbled as a social media influencer, having over 1.3 million followers on TikTok. She was convicted despite her crime being one that sparked the interest of human rights activists. The activists argued that the charges were part of a crackdown on female social media influencers in Egypt, which was, quote, absurd, as these influencers were doing just what other influencers do every day. Hassam, alongside 11 other female social media influencers, was part of a crackdown by Egyptian authorities for making content that, quote, violated the family principles and values upheld by Egyptian society. In her videos, she had been encouraging girls that were over 18 to post videos of themselves on a video sharing platform Likey, where she said they can make money by going live. In one specific video, she told her followers that they could make over $3,000 by doing live broadcasts, but the authorities interpreted this as encouraging illicit online sex. She denied the charges, explaining that, quote, "I've never said anything bad in my videos. I never said I wanted girls to do inappropriate things to earn money. I said respectable girls could earn money on social media," end quote. She was initially sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Oh,
but
man,
after
bitch.
global outrage from activists, her sentence was reduced to 3 years and a fine of $10,740. I'd like to read this tweet from My El Sadani. What does it mean for an Egyptian court to convict TikTok influencers Haneen Hassam and Mawada Al-Adam on human trafficking charges? It means they're criminalizing what influencers globally do every day when they invite others to work with them and monetize TikTok activity. I don't know if she was paid by Likey to promote their service, but it reminds me of when influencers were
that shit
being
kinda
paid
sketchy.
to move to Triller. Do you guys remember that?
Yep.
That failed app
That
which
shit's sketch
people
as
only
fuck.
use to make snippets for songs now. It seems like Likey paid her. Again, this is no confirming, but it just reminded me of the situation, and I'm only connecting it. Maybe Likey probably paid her to promote the service, and then she was like, "Hey, yo,
Likey.
you girls can probably make money over there by going live." It says here she said she was talking about 18-year-old girls, but when we're talking about the something that violates the family principles and values upheld by Egyptian society, that being a law, I think there's a lot of stuff that falls under that if the Egyptian, I guess, law just doesn't see eye to eye with you on it, they're gonna take you to jail. But again, I don't want to talk too much about religion, but as of today, yes, she is serving time in prison. Rael Simmons. Our last TikToker is Rael Simmons, a fairly influential Minnesota man who decided to impersonate a federal officer to his 10,000 TikTok followers. Aged 53, Rael Simmons from southern Minnesota was sentenced to 6 years in prison for pretending to be a federal officer on TikTok. He made a
Dumbass
TikTok
nigga.
profile under the username Ray Reeves and presented himself as a federal agent to his followers. In the videos, he displayed and wore law enforcement gear, as well as showcased guns and badges despite never being employed by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security or sworn in as a law enforcement officer. His crafty scheme seemed to thrive as he gained more followers and only got stopped once a woman he dated tipped the police. After his home was raided, the investigators found a lot of deadly weapons: 8 firearms, a blasting cap, a detonating cord, assault rifles, silencers, and thousands of rounds of ammunition.
He had mad shit.
Armor, badges, emblems, and documents.
He had mad shit that he ain't supposed to
Surprising that
have.
he had a conviction in Colorado and thus was legally not allowed to possess any of the weapons.
Real shit. He not supposed to have none of that.
Impersonation and unlawful possession of firearms. He pleaded guilty to both charges and was sentenced to 6 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release. He got sentenced in 2022, which means he will be out in 2028 for pretending to be a police officer for clout points. That's a new one, guys.
Fucking corny ass nigga. Pretending to be a cop for clout.
Fucking impersonating a police officer. This one's definitely gonna fall under things I never thought I would have to research.
And he black. That's crazy.
That's gonna be the end of this video. Don't leave yet, because I see the graph. You guys always leave once I stop. Let me say something really quick. It was my
I damn
birthday on
sure
March
do.
18th, so now I'm 21 years old. Be happy for me.
Congratulations. Anyway.
Yo.